Have you ever wondered why most deaths after the age of 75 can be traced back to just a few specific causes? It's not something we like to think about, but the truth is, many of these deaths are preventable. While aging is a natural part of life, the reality is that most of these fatal conditions are linked to factors that can be managed or even avoided with the right knowledge and actions. In this video, we're going to reveal the 5 primary causes of death for individuals over 75. These are the top killers in this age group, and understanding them could be the key to living a longer, healthier life. We'll dive into heart disease, falls, respiratory illnesses, strokes, and cognitive decline, the conditions responsible for the majority of deaths in older adults. But here's the important part: these aren't inevitable. With simple lifestyle changes, these risks can be minimized, and in some cases, even avoided. You may think that there's little you can do once you reach a certain age, but the truth is, small changes today can drastically impact your health and longevity tomorrow. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how these conditions affect your life, but also gain practical tips on how to protect yourself from them. Whether it's improving your diet, staying active, or recognizing early warning signs, you'll walk away with actionable advice that could add years to your life. Stay with us until the end, and let's uncover how you can take control of your health and live your golden years to the fullest. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Heart disease. Heart disease continues to be the leading cause of death for those over 75, but what truly breaks my heart is how many individuals feel powerless when it comes to their health, not realizing how much influence they have over it. The truth is, our heart is a muscle, and like all muscles in our body, it thrives when we care for it and deteriorates when neglected. It's as though we treat our hearts with apathy, thinking it's just part of getting older when we experience fatigue, shortness of breath, or a slowing down of energy. But here's the painful reality. These aren't just signs of aging, they're early warnings that our heart might be weakening. And by the time we truly realize the damage, it may be too late. High blood pressure is one of the main culprits behind heart disease, and the truly scary thing about it is how silent it can be. For many, it's the invisible enemy, lurking in the background, causing wear and tear on the arteries and making the heart work harder than it should. And the most terrifying part? There are usually no symptoms to alert us. No pain, no discomfort. It's so easy to overlook until something catastrophic happens, like a heart attack or stroke. I know how blindsiding it can feel, watching a loved one suddenly rush to the ER, not understanding how their health had been slipping away slowly, bit by bit, until it reached a breaking point. We cannot afford to take the silence of high blood pressure for granted. It's a ticking time bomb that many don't even realize they're carrying until it's too late. I can't help but think about how many people unwittingly contribute to their heart's decline through their diet. Years of consuming processed foods, high salt levels, and unhealthy fats slowly and quietly chip away at the very thing that sustains us. We often don't realize how damaging it is until we see the results: clogged arteries, reduced blood flow, and a heart that's working overtime to compensate. But it's not enough just to avoid the bad stuff. We have to actively nourish our bodies with the right foods, heart-healthy, life-giving foods. This is the part that strikes me. So many people think they're doing okay by cutting out a few unhealthy snacks, but real heart health comes from consistently filling our plates with the good, the life-giving nutrients that our hearts need to stay strong. It's about making sure we are feeding our hearts what it needs to continue beating with vitality. Physical inactivity is another factor that hits me hard, especially when I see how many older adults still believe that rest is the answer to aging. The truth is, the heart wasn't designed to sit idle. We often hear, "Take it easy," but our hearts need regular movement to stay in shape. Without it, circulation slows down, muscles weaken, and the heart becomes sluggish, deprived of the exercise it needs to function optimally. This doesn't mean you have to run marathons or push yourself beyond your limits.
Oh.
Even the simplest things, daily walks, stretches, or even light chair exercises, can do wonders to keep the heart energized. I can't stress this enough. Movement, no matter how small, is the heart's best friend. It's never too late to get moving, and every little step counts. But perhaps the most damaging belief that still lingers in many minds is the idea that heart disease is just inevitable, that it's something we must simply accept as a part of aging or genetics. I've heard it time and time again, "It runs in my family," or "I'm getting older, it's bound to happen." This belief leaves so many people feeling powerless and resigned to their fate. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. The habits we form every day, what we eat, how we move, how we handle stress, are powerful forces that shape our heart's future. We hold so much more control than we realize. Our decisions today can drastically change the course of our heart health tomorrow. That's why I can't help but urge you, don't wait for a wake-up call. Start making changes now, because the strength of your heart in the years to come depends on the choices you make today. It's never too late to start taking charge of your heart health, and the best time to begin is right now. 2. Falls and injuries among the elderly. Falls are among the most dangerous and underestimated risks that many older adults face, yet they often go unnoticed until it's too late. In an instant, everything can change. One misstep, a sudden dizzy spell, or an unnoticed wet spot on the floor, and a fall can occur, often leading to life-altering consequences. It's horrifying how something as seemingly simple as losing your balance can result in a broken hip, head trauma, or even an injury that starts small but quickly escalates into something far more severe and devastating. The truth is, no one expects it to happen to them, but when it does, it's often the beginning of a downward spiral that can change everything about a person's life. What truly breaks my heart is how unprepared we are, as a society, to deal with the growing reality of falls in older adults. It's as though we don't realize how fragile the human body becomes as we age until that first fall happens, until the day when a simple slip suddenly becomes a catalyst for a cascade of physical and emotional suffering. When falls lead to serious injury, such as a fractured hip, the repercussions are far-reaching. What many don't realize is that such an injury doesn't just mean weeks or months of pain. It often means a permanent loss of independence, the inability to care for oneself, and the creeping fear of never being able to fully recover. It's devastating to think about how something so preventable, with the right precautions, can steal away not only a person's physical health but their very spirit. The cold reality is that falls are not just a random event. They are among the leading causes of fatal injuries in seniors. Every year, millions of older adults find themselves rushed to the emergency room after a fall, and for so many, this marks the beginning of an irreversible decline. I can't help but feel that there's such a deep sadness in the fact that these injuries often lead to months of immobility, hospital stays, and, in some cases, even death. It's not just about broken bones. It's about the isolation, the emotional toll, and the slow, painful decline that many experience after a fall. The body just doesn't recover the way it used to, and as a result, something as simple as getting up from a chair or walking across a room can become a daunting task, leaving so many people trapped in their own homes. Sadly, many people don't take the risks of falling seriously until it happens to them or someone they love. The warning signs are subtle at first, gradually losing your balance, feeling less stable, or even realizing that your reaction time isn't as sharp as it once was. These are the things we often brush off or ignore. But it's precisely this gradual decline in our strength, balance, and coordination that sets the stage for disaster. You can feel perfectly steady walking around your house one day, only to find yourself on the floor the next, wondering how things could have changed so quickly. And when it does happen, the recovery process is far longer and harder than we ever imagined. The body's resilience and ability to bounce back just aren't what they used to be, and it's heartbreaking to witness how something that would have been a minor stumble in youth can now lead to a debilitating and often life-threatening injury. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment, one below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's another hidden danger too, a vicious cycle that's often hard to break. After experiencing a fall or even a close call, many older adults become terrified of falling again. This fear is completely understandable, but it often has the opposite effect. Instead of helping, it holds them back. They avoid stairs, skip their daily walks, and shrink away from activity, fearing another fall. But here's the ironic part: the less we move, the weaker we become. And the weaker we become, the more likely we are to fall again. It's a heartbreaking loop that robs so many people of their independence, their confidence, and their freedom. The fear of falling starts to control their lives, keeping them in a cage built from hesitation, limiting their every step. But here's where I want to offer some hope. Falls don't have to be an inevitable part of aging. There are so many small yet powerful steps we can take to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Strengthening our legs and core muscles, working on improving balance, and making simple adjustments to our environment can dramatically reduce the risk of falls. Smart changes like better lighting, securing rugs, and installing sturdy handrails can make all the difference between maintaining your independence and suffering from a life-changing injury. These precautions are not just suggestions, they are lifelines, giving us the ability to move through life with greater confidence and security. It's never too late to take action, and every step we take to protect our health today can help ensure that we live our later years with strength, dignity, and a deep sense of independence. In the end, it's not just about avoiding a fall. It's about living life to the fullest, embracing each day with the knowledge that we've taken the steps to protect ourselves, and knowing that we are doing everything we can to continue walking confidently into the future. 3. Respiratory diseases. Breathing is one of the most natural and effortless actions we perform every day, and yet we rarely stop to think about it until it becomes difficult. As we age, we often take our ability to breathe for granted, but the reality is that our lungs don't stay as efficient forever. Over time, they begin to lose some of their capacity, and even what seems like a minor breathing issue can spiral into something much more dangerous. It's a heartbreaking truth that many of us don't pay attention to until it's too late. A slight cough or an occasional shortness of breath might feel insignificant, but these seemingly harmless symptoms could very well be the first whispers of something far more serious. And if left unchecked, they can escalate in ways we never expected. Once we hit 75, respiratory diseases become one of the leading causes of death, but not because they are unavoidable or destined to happen. They become deadly simply because they are often ignored, dismissed as part of the aging process, or because we fail to take them seriously until it's almost too late. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis, is a prime example. This disease creeps in quietly, causing the airways to become inflamed and narrowed over time, making it harder and harder to breathe. I can't help but feel frustrated when I think about how many older adults, our parents, grandparents, friends, tend to shrug off persistent coughing, wheezing, or breathlessness. They assume it's just another, normal sign of aging. But these are not just annoying little inconveniences. They are signs that the lungs are struggling. Our bodies are trying to communicate with us, begging for attention, but far too many of us don't listen. Pneumonia, too, is a silent killer that often starts as something so innocuous. Maybe just a cold, a little chest congestion, or mild fatigue. But for older adults, pneumonia can quickly spiral out of control. The immune system weakens with age, and suddenly, something that might have been a simple inconvenience in our younger years becomes life-threatening. It's not hard to imagine the heartbreak when a loved one is admitted to the hospital, only for their condition to worsen rapidly. The worst part? In many cases, recovery never happens, and we are left with the painful reality that things could have been different had we taken warning signs more seriously from the start. And let's not forget about the air we breathe every day. Years of exposure to pollutants, dust, smoke, and chemicals can slowly and silently take a toll on our lungs. I know many of us think about air pollution when we're outdoors, but even inside our homes, we're at risk. The mold in our bathrooms, the pet dander floating through the air, or simply poor ventilation can exacerbate breathing issues, particularly for those already struggling with asthma or COPD. That's why it's so crucial to make simple but impactful changes in our homes, like using air purifiers, ensuring proper airflow, and making the conscious choice to avoid secondhand smoke. These changes might seem small, but they can make a world of difference when it comes to maintaining our lung health as we get older. The good news is that we have some control over this. One of the easiest yet most powerful ways to support our lungs and keep them strong is to stay active. Movement is a gift we can give our bodies. It helps our lungs expand fully, clears out mucus, and keeps our respiratory system functioning at its best. But as we age, it becomes all too tempting to sit down and relax for long periods, which can cause our lung function to decline and increase our risk of infections. It's heartbreaking to see so many people fall into the trap of inactivity, forgetting how simple activities like walking, stretching, or even light exercises can make a profound difference. We owe it to ourselves and our loved ones to keep moving, to care for our bodies in ways that matter, and to remember that sometimes the smallest actions can have the greatest impact on our health. In the end, breathing may seem like the most basic part of life, but it's also one of the most precious. When it becomes difficult, when we feel that tightness in our chest, it can serve as a painful reminder of just how fragile life can be. So let's not wait until it's too late. Let's take those small but crucial steps now to protect our lungs and live our lives with the full breath of vitality and strength that we deserve. 4. Stroke. A stroke is one of the most sudden, terrifying events that can strike without any warning, and it's a stark reminder that life can change in an instant. One moment you could be enjoying the comfort of your daily routine, and the next, everything you knew about your independence, health, and even your future could be thrown into uncertainty. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? How quickly everything can be turned upside down. As we age, we often hear the warnings about strokes, but it's one of those things that, unless it happens to you or someone you love, you don't truly understand the weight of it. After the age of 75, stroke is one of the leading causes of death, and yet so many people live their lives blissfully unaware of the risk factors that contribute to it, thinking, "It won't happen to me." But the truth is, stroke doesn't care about your plans. It strikes fast, and often without any time to prepare. And once it happens, the damage is often irreversible. It's a hard truth to face, but here's what might shock you. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable. Think about that for a moment. 80%. That means the power to protect yourself from this life-altering event is in your hands. The choices you make today, from the food you eat to how active you stay, can determine whether you will spend your later years independent and healthy, or if you will face the devastating consequences of a stroke. It's not an easy reality to accept, but it's true. The future is in your hands. Stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is interrupted. This happens either because a blood vessel in the brain gets blocked or, in more severe cases, the vessel bursts. The brain, which relies on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood, starts to suffer almost immediately. Without that oxygen, brain cells begin to die within minutes, and once they are gone, they can't be replaced. The severity of the stroke depends on where and how much of the brain is affected. Some strokes are mild, in the sense that they cause temporary confusion or weakness that goes away with time. But these strokes still carry a tremendous emotional weight for the person who experiences them. They can leave a person questioning their ability to live life independently. On the other hand, some strokes are devastating. These strokes can leave individuals with permanent paralysis, the loss of speech, or, in some cases, complete dependency on others for even the most basic tasks. And let's not forget that, in too many instances, a stroke can be fatal, claiming a life before there's even time to say goodbye. This is the part that stirs me. The fact that stroke is preventable, and yet so many lives are needlessly lost or altered because of it. One of the biggest contributors to stroke is high blood pressure, which is often referred to as the silent killer. High blood pressure is insidious. It doesn't show any obvious symptoms. That's why so many people walk around for years unaware that their blood pressure is dangerously high. Over time, the extra pressure causes damage to the arteries, weakening them and increasing the chances of them rupturing or becoming blocked. It's like a ticking time bomb that, at any moment, could turn someone's life upside down. What's heartbreaking is that many people don't know they have high blood pressure until it's too late, until they're suddenly faced with the aftermath of a stroke. The scariest part? High blood pressure can be controlled with simple lifestyle changes like diet, exercise, and sometimes medication. If only people were more proactive about it, the risk of stroke could be dramatically reduced. And let's talk about the heart, another silent player in the stroke equation. Irregular heart rhythms, like atrial fibrillation, are a big contributor to stroke risk, especially in older adults. Atrial fibrillation occurs when the heart beats irregularly, sometimes too fast, sometimes too slow. When this happens, the heart isn't pumping blood effectively, causing blood to pool in certain areas, creating clots. And that's where the danger lies. If one of those blood clots dislodges and travels up to the brain, it can block blood flow and cause a stroke, sometimes in an instant. The most chilling part? Many older adults experience atrial fibrillation without even knowing it. They may have no symptoms at all, or just a slight feeling of dizziness or fatigue that they brush off. But the truth is, this condition is a major stroke risk factor, and it often goes undiagnosed. It's another one of those hidden dangers that can silently destroy your health and your future without you ever seeing it coming. When you add these factors together, high blood pressure, heart rhythm problems, and the general aging process, you can see how the risk of stroke increases. And yet, this is a preventable crisis. Every time you choose to eat a healthier meal, take a walk, manage your stress, or get checked for things like high blood pressure or heart irregularities, you are making a choice that could save your life. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The emotional toll of knowing that your choices today can either protect you or put you at risk for something so devastating is immense, but it's also empowering. The truth is, we can do something about it. Prevention is power. I know it's not always easy to think about our health in this way. It's easier to ignore the warnings, to believe that a stroke is something that happens to other people. But I believe that we owe it to ourselves, and to the people who love us, to take these warnings seriously. We can't afford to wait until it's too late. The best time to take control of your health is now. Take charge of your blood pressure, get your heart checked, live a life that prioritizes your health, and you'll not only improve the quality of your own life, but you'll also protect your loved ones from the pain of watching you face a preventable crisis. Because, in the end, we all want to live a long, healthy life, filled with moments of joy and independence. The choices we make today determine whether we get to enjoy those moments tomorrow. It's time to make them count. 5. Cognitive decline and its consequences. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. One of the most heart-wrenching aspects of growing older is witnessing the slow, cruel erosion of one's cognitive abilities, those precious faculties that we take for granted for so much of our lives. Memory, judgment, and independence, which were once as familiar and reliable as breathing, begin to slip away in the most painful, imperceptible way. Cognitive decline doesn't announce itself with a loud crash, but instead, it sneaks up on you like a thief in the night. The subtle forgetfulness, misplacing a set of keys, struggling to remember a name, or forgetting the reason you walked into a room, seems so minor at first. We brush it off as stress or fatigue, convincing ourselves it's just part of life. But little by little, those minor lapses turn into something much more alarming, and what was once simple, something that felt effortless, becomes a monumental challenge. And it's in these moments, when we realize the weight of what is happening, that the emotional toll begins to truly sink in. Tasks that were once routine and automatic, like managing your finances, recognizing a close friend or family member, or making decisions with confidence, suddenly become insurmountable obstacles. It's as if your mind, the one thing you've relied on throughout your life, is slowly betraying you. It's not just inconvenient. No, it's deeply unsettling, and for so many, it's terrifying. The anxiety that comes with this change is almost unbearable, because it doesn't just impact the mind. It ripples throughout every part of your life, every relationship, every small aspect of your day-to-day existence. The devastation grows even greater when we consider the darker side of cognitive decline, conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. These diseases don't just steal memories. They take away dignity, they strip independence, and they can even put physical health at grave risk. As mental abilities wither, so too does a person's ability to care for themselves. The simplest tasks, like remembering to take vital medications, eating a nutritious meal, or recognizing when something feels off in your own body, become Herculean struggles. It's heartbreaking to witness someone forget to drink enough water, not because they don't know how vital it is, but because their mind has betrayed them. The danger of malnutrition, from either overeating or not eating enough, looms large, and this opens the door to an array of additional health problems that compound the situation. Perhaps one of the most devastating consequences is the increased risk of accidental injury. You can almost feel the weight of it as you imagine the terrifying possibility of leaving the stove on, of forgetting to lock the door, or wandering into dangerous areas. Every slip, every oversight, is a reminder that cognitive decline doesn't just affect the mind, it also creates physical hazards. For many seniors, this downward spiral leads to the most heart-wrenching reality of all: the loss of independence. What was once an unspoken truth, being able to live alone and care for oneself, is ripped away. It's a crushing blow to one's sense of self-worth, and in many cases, without the right support and care, their health can spiral downwards at an alarming rate. The sense of helplessness, of needing constant supervision and assistance, is not only a practical loss, but it's an emotional one as well. As we watch our loved ones go through these trials, it's impossible not to feel a profound sorrow. Aging is a natural part of life, but cognitive decline can feel like an unfair, cruel twist of fate. It's a reminder of how fragile we all are, and how desperately we need the love and support of those around us in our later years. It's a call to action to ensure that we, as a society, are more compassionate, more understanding, and more prepared to help those who are walking this difficult path. No one should have to face these challenges alone. As we reflect on the realities of aging, particularly the challenges that come with cognitive decline, I hope this video has shed light on just how profound and impactful these changes can be. It's easy to take our mental and physical abilities for granted, but as we've seen, these shifts can have lasting effects on independence, health, and overall well-being. So, what have you learned from this video so far? Is there a new insight that struck you? Or maybe you've recognized something in yourself or a loved one that you hadn't fully understood before. I'd love to hear what you're taking away from this discussion. Please, take a moment to comment below and share one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into your life moving forward. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on more content like this. We truly appreciate your support, and together, we can keep raising awareness and sharing meaningful conversations that matter. Thank you for watching.